Hi, this is Mr. Ng going over the Math 4 quiz number 9. Directions show all your work in the space provided, box your answers. Decide whether each piece of information given alone is sufficient to prove that the quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, so what you can do is if you're using a pencil, you can just mark it up. So question number 1, E is the midpoint of AC. Midpoint. So that means these are congruent. It's also a midpoint of this direction. And if you look at your maps, that you're looking for something about diagonals bisect, so that would be true. That is yes. So I'm just using your map. Have that out nice and handy. Question number 2, ABC. So I'll put it right here. And BCD are 180 degrees. Well, if you recognize, those are opposite angles and they should be congruent, but these do not show parallel lines. So here you're looking for something like consecutive angles are supplementary. So this angle and this angle would be an example of consecutive, so the answer would be no on that one. Question number 3, AB is parallel to DC, so C, and BC is congruent to DA. And the answer for that one is no. The reason why it's no is because for this one right here, you need one pair of sides that is both parallel and congruent. So if I put marks on this one, then that would be a parallelogram. Okay, or you move these over there, or you move the parallel lines up there. So it has to be the same sides, both parallel and congruent. And the last one, angle ABC and ADC, BAD, so again that's the middle letter is most important, that's where the angle is congruent to BCD, so that means both opposite angles are congruent. So that would be yes. So just have your map out and go over the questions as you're doing it. Question number 5, identify this figure below. I see congruent sides, 9 and 9, so I'm assuming this is 9, this is 9. Here you have a set of 90-degree angles, so you'll know that these are parallel, these are also parallel, so that's a square. Question number 6, which statement is true? Quadrilaterals are rectangles, so you're going down, so that one is sometimes or false. All quadrilaterals are squares, same thing, you're going down, so that is sometimes or false. All rectangles are quadrilaterals, so you're going up always, so that's true, but I'm going to go and check out this one here. All quadrilaterals are parallelograms. So you're going down, that's false, so my answer would be C. Question number 7. In rhombus ABCD with diagonals AC and DB, AD is 10. If the length of the diagonal AC is 12, what is the length of DB? So they want to know this diagonal. Okay, so if I look at a rhombus, the only thing about diagonals is one, diagonals bisect angles, but we're not talking about angles there, those are side lengths. Diagonals are perpendicular. So if I just go ahead and make a box around there, this is 12. Remember, a rhombus is a parallelogram, and in a parallelogram it says diagonals bisect. So if this whole thing is 12, it gets cut in half, so this is 6. And that side's 6. So if you have this one right here, you have D, A, and something in the middle. So that would be 10 and 6. And once I find X here, then I can just put X over here, and then I can find that length. So there I can just use the Pythagorean theorem. C, we'll call that B, to 6, and this one A. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared. 10 squared equals x squared plus 6 squared. 10 times 10 is 100. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract 36. I'm going to get 64 equals x squared. Take the square root. X is equal to 8. Now, be careful. That's a distractor right there. You see it? Remember, this is 8, and this is 8. So 8 plus 8, or dB, would give you 16 is your answer. Choice 2 is your answer. Alright, questions 8 to 10. Decide whether the following statements are always, sometimes, or never true. So these are your 3 options right there, just like we practiced in class. Quadrilateral is a square, so you are going down. They will be sometimes true. The diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So you're looking at parallelogram and you're looking at diagonals. And diagonals bisect each other. So that statement is always true, because that's a characteristic or a property. A rhombus is a kite. So there you're going between different branches. Show you my map. Rhombus is a kite. So you're going from the purple to a rhombus here in the green families, and you're going sideways between different branches. That would be never. Question number 11, find the values of A and B. The diagram is not drawn scale. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this and I'm going to notice the characteristics. So the first thing I see is only one set of parallel lines, therefore this is a trapezoid. If I have a trapezoid, it tells me that we're going to have consecutive, because I have parallel lines, consecutive, let's try to color this, and zoom in. So again, this is not an isosceles trapezoid, so I don't know if these are congruent. So all I know is that this one in green and yellow, those are equal to 180 degrees. So yellow plus green equals 180 degrees. So 36 plus A equals 180, right? Consecutive interior angles are supplementary. That's what I'm using right here, right? That's just because, not just because of the trapezoid, but because of parallel lines. So if I subtract 36 from both sides, A is going to equal 144. So I'm going to write that in my picture. And notice here that eliminates choices C and D. And I can do the same thing over here for the 113, blue, and the orange, which is B. So 113 plus B equals 180. That's supplementary. Subtract 113, and I'll get B is equal to 67. And that would be choice A. Let's count up the points for that sign. Let's see, 2 points apiece. That gives us 8. 2, 2, 2. 2 points each, so that's 6. 2, so I have 10, 14, 20, and 22 points. Go ahead and turn the page over. I have a parallelogram. In the figure below, the measure of angle BCD, so this whole angle here is 125 degrees. BD is, so the diagonal is 74. I'm going to write that in the middle. AE is, only this part is 29. Use the figure of the parallelogram ABC to find the missing sides and angles. Be sure to justify your answer with the property. Okay. Alright, so the first thing I see here is it says ED. So again, focus on a parallelogram. ED is here. Do we have anything there? AE is 29. AD is 74. So I noticed that this is talking about diagonals. ED is a part of a diagonal, and diagonals bisect each other. So if you want, you can put these marks there, and those marks there. So if this is 74, I just need half of 74, which is 20, 35, 37. 37 times 2. So 37. If a quadrilateral is a p-gram, then essentially diagonals, these, bisect each other. Question number 13, AD. So again, AD is over here. And I notice it's a side, so if you look at any of your properties, you're just looking for something about sides, and I have opposite sides are congruent. So there's 33, this is 33. Quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Then opposite sides are congruent. Okay? Angle BAD. Okay, now BAD is the whole angle over here. Okay? Now, you have 25 here, and this side, all of this is 125. So, angle addition, I need 25 plus 100. So 25 plus 100, that'll give me 125, and then 125 is equal to 125. So, BAD is 125 degrees. I guess you really need it. You didn't need to know the 100. Quadrilateral is a p-gram. Then opposite angles are congruent. Okay. Question number 15, angle ABC. ABC, so they want to know something up here. I'll call it the orange one. Well, you already know that this one in green is 125, so you can just do green plus orange equals 180. I know that because it's a parallelogram and you have two sets of parallel lines. So essentially this would be, these are the parallel lines cut by the transversal. These are interior, these are consecutive, they're on the same side of this transversal. So that would be, I'll call it angle ABC plus 125. You subtract 125 and you'll get 55. So the measure of angle ABC is 55. And the reason why, if the quadrilateral is a parallelogram, you can say consecutive interior angles or consecutive angles are supplementary. The measure of angle ACD. Take a look here. It's going to be a tough one. ACD is here in purple. So think of it as parallel line to this diagonal, or to the transversal. And that's what this one is right here. Parallel line to the same transversal, so that would be 25 degrees. The reason why is that one is alternate interior angles are congruent. AC, so let's go back up here. AC is this whole length. Let's see, BD. AC. This one is 29, so this one also has to be 29. 29 plus 29 gives us 58. So AC is equal to 58. If the quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then diagonals bisect each other. Alright, let's go up to this question up here. I have a picture here. I have two consecutive sides are congruent. That is called a kite. So you should be looking for your properties of a kite. In a kite, two consecutive sides are congruent. And something that you should also note is that you have you're looking for, it says exactly one pair of opposite angles are congruent. and you're looking for the included angle. The included angle is between what we called in class the 1-2 sandwich. So 1 and a 2. So you can put x and x. Here we talked about yesterday the quadrilateral interior sum. And it has 4 sides, so you can do 4 blanks, just like the triangle sum theorem. And each of those blanks, you're just going to go ahead and put in all of those. So x, x, 150, and this one here, the box, is 90. Combine like terms, 2x plus 240. Notice on one side of the equation, you're not really doing opposites. So I'm going to go backwards from PEMDAS, subtract 240. I got 2x equals 120, divide by 2, x is equal to 60. So 60 is the measure of angle G. Number 19, give the most specific name for the quadrilateral. Okay, I have 4 right angles, but it doesn't tell me anything else. It doesn't tell me if the sides are congruent, so we're going to say this one is a rectangle. So if so it's equal angular. If it was equilateral, meaning with the hash marks, then that would be a square. Okay, let's do 19b. I have 4 sides congruent, and I have a right angle. We're going to assume that all of these are parallelograms, so you can put a box on those, right? Opposite angles are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary, so this would be a square. 19c, I have 1 set of right angles, so that would be consecutive angles are supplementary, so 90 plus 90 equals 180. So these are going to be parallel, and you only have 1 set of parallel lines, so you're going to have a trapezoid. And the last picture, like we just saw above, 2 consecutive sides are congruent, that would be a kite. And the last one, fill in the blank, so that each row and each column contain all the digits 1 to 4. So I'm going to write up here 1, 2, 3, 4. Numbers in the cages may repeat as long as they are not in the same row or column. So I'm going to look for the freebies. Those are what the math operations there. This puzzle will tell us that all of them are multiplication. Here I need 2 numbers that multiply to be 3. Guess here 1 and 3. We'll call this one 4. 2 numbers that multiply to be 12. That'll be a 3. Here I need 2 numbers that multiply to be 2, so I can't put a 2 here because I'll be repeating, so 2 and 1. Here this would be, let's see, I can't have, the only numbers that are left are 3 and 4, and those will multiply to be 12, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these two. So I'm going to have, I'll put 1 here and put a 4 here. Let's see what happens. That was correct because over here, look, I need 2 numbers that multiply to be 3 and 1. Can't have a 1 here, so that has to be a 3. 2 numbers that multiply to be 8. That'll be a 4 and a 2. Notice I'm repeating here, so let's write that again. Should look ahead. And the numbers I'm missing here are 4. Numbers missing 3 here. And those multiply by 12. And notice there's no repeating numbers in the rows nor the columns. Okay. So let's double check. This one was 4, 2 points each, so that would be 8. Free response question 4. Each of these blanks were worth 2 points, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and that'll be 20 on that side. I'll count this one as extra credit, so 4 points extra credit on that side. So I have 20 plus 12 is 32, 36, that'll be 58 points. Hope these quick corrections were helpful for you to not make the same mistakes on the test. Have a good day.